What if a tree could remember your childhood? What if it could tell the world who truly loved it and who only pretended? In this story, two twins, born together, raised together, grow under the same sky. Yet only one leaves kindness behind. One twin with a black-colored face, gentle, caring, and full of heart, and the other with a white-colored face, rude, dirty in habits, and selfish. But today, something unbelievable happens. The old childhood tree, the one that watched them grow, finally reveals the truth. It remembers every touch, every tear, every cruelty, every kindness. And today, it shows the world which twin truly cared. The valley had always been silent in the mornings, wrapped in a pale golden haze that floated over the grass like a memory that refused to fade. People walked past it for years, never noticing how the old tree in the center seemed to breathe when the wind passed through its leaves. But the tree remembered everything, every step, every whisper, every heart that came close to it. And among all the memories woven into its rings, none were as powerful as the memories of the twins who grew up beneath its branches. Mira and Lena, they were born minutes apart, but they grew like opposites carved from two different worlds. Mira, with her black-colored face, gentle eyes, and calm nature, always walked like she was carrying light in her hands. And Lena, with her white-colored face, bright but sharp, always behaved as though the world owed her something. They were twins, but even strangers could sense the difference in the energy they brought into a room. The valley felt it too, and the memory tree, the ancient silent witness, felt it most deeply. The first time they came as toddlers, Mira toddled forward with wide eyes, clapping happily as the sunlight filtered through the branches. She touched the trunk with both hands, giggling softly, as if she had found a friend. The tree felt warmth spread through its bark like a blooming flower. Lena, however, approached with the impatience of someone who already believed she deserved the world's attention. She pulled off a leaf and dropped it without looking back. The tree felt the tug, the loss, but it stayed silent. As they grew older, their differences deepened. At age 6, Mira spent her afternoons lying beneath the tree, humming to herself, tracing patterns in the soil, making tiny crowns of leaves to place around the roots as though decorating a friend. She whispered secrets, how she wanted to help people, how she wished everyone in the town would treat each other with kindness, how she liked drawing pictures of birds and wanted to learn how trees talk to the wind. The memory tree absorbed those words into its oldest rings, storing them like treasures. Lena, on the other hand, rarely came unless she wanted something. Sometimes she yanked off a branch to use as a toy. Sometimes she carved lines in the soft bark with a stone simply because she was bored. The tree remembered the sting each time. It remembered the impatience in her footsteps, the frustration in her voice, the careless way she pushed things aside, never thinking of the harm she caused. One summer day, a storm rolled in, a violent one, thick with dark clouds and heavy wind that roared like an angry sea. People ran indoors, shutting windows, bolting doors. But Mira ran the opposite way. Barefoot, soaked by rain, she sprinted toward the valley. The memory tree stood tall but trembling as lightning split the sky. Mira wrapped her small arms around its trunk, shielding it with her tiny body, as though she could stop the storm itself. "Don't be afraid," she whispered through chattering teeth. "I'm here." The wind pushed her. The rain stung her skin. But she held on. The tree felt her warmth, her courage, her love, and it remembered. Lena watched from the window of their house, annoyed. "Who saves a tree?" she muttered, rolling her eyes. "She's so weird." But the tree remembered her absence too. As years passed, the twins turned 13. Their personalities sharpened like stone and silk. Mira visited the tree daily, cleaning the fallen leaves, watering its thirsty roots during scorching days, and speaking softly to it about her fears and dreams. The tree felt comfort in her touch. It felt seen. It felt alive in ways humans would never understand. Lena visited less and less, but when she did, she always left chaos behind. One day she arrived holding a knife she'd secretly taken from the kitchen. Out of boredom or frustration, the tree never knew. She pressed the blade sharply into bark and carved her name in jagged letters. The bark split painfully, sap bleeding like a wound. Mira found the scar hours later and broke into tears. She pressed her palm against a fresh cut, whispering apologies over and over. She brought damp cloths, herbs she found in their mother's garden, even soft mud to seal the wound. Slowly, tenderly, she nursed the tree back to health. The tree felt her care sinking into its roots like healing rain. When they turned 15, life around them became more complicated. School, friends, expectations, everything seemed heavier. Lena tried to be the center of attention everywhere she went, relying on her white, smooth face to charm people, but her rude behavior always pushed them away. She blamed others, never herself. Mira, however, did not rely on beauty. People were drawn to her gentle presence. She spoke kindly, helped quietly, smiled sincerely. Lena grew jealous, even though she never admitted it. One painful afternoon, Lena lashed out. In front of their classmates, she insulted Mira. "People only like you because you act good," she sneered. "But look at you, your black face makes you ugly. No one would choose you over me." Mira froze, hurt slicing through her chest. She didn't defend herself. She didn't argue. She simply walked away, her eyes burning. She ended up under the memory tree, burying her face in her hands. "I know my face is different," she whispered through tears, "but I want my heart to stay clean no matter what." The tree rustled its leaves as if comforting her. A soft breeze curled around her cheeks, drying her tears. The tree remembered the moment like sunlight carved into its rings. Then came the year everything changed. The twins turned 17. The town council announced a plan for modernization, a new road cutting directly through the valley. Most people cheered. They liked the idea of shorter routes and better transport. Only a few protested, and Mira was among them. When she read the notice, her heart dropped. "They're going to cut the tree," she whispered, voice trembling. She ran to the valley, breathless, hugging the trunk tightly. "I won't let them take you." Lena saw the notice too, shrugged, and tossed it aside. "Let them cut it. It's just a tree," she said, annoyed that Mira seemed more emotional than usual. The day the workers arrived with axes, machines, and marking flags, Mira stood in front of the tree, arms stretched wide. "No," she said firmly. "You can't do this." People gathered. Lena stood in the crowd, rolling her eyes, embarrassed. "Mira," she snapped, stopping dramatic. But Mira did not move. Her hands trembled, but her resolve stayed strong. And then the impossible happened. A warm glow pulsed through the tree's bark. Soft at first, like candlelight, then brighter, brighter, until the entire valley bathed in a golden shimmer. The wind shifted, circling around the branches as if stirred by an ancient force awakening for the first time in centuries. Leaves glowed like tiny lanterns. Grass bowed. Birds fell silent. The workers stepped back in fear. Images began forming in the air, not drawings, not illusions, but memories. The tree was showing them everything it had stored for years. They saw Mira as a child, placing leaf crowns around the roots. They saw her hugging the tree in storms. They saw her cleaning litter, whispering dreams, healing wounds, protecting it with her own small body. The valley glowed warmer around those images, as if Myra's kindness radiated outward, filling the air. Then the tone changed. The light dimmed. Shadows formed. The tree showed Lena carving her name harshly into bark, breaking branches, littering, kicking roots out of frustration, mocking Mira for caring. The air grew heavy, uncomfortable. People watched in stunned silence. Lena, pale and speechless, shook her head. "No, stop, that's not." But the tree showed more. Every careless act, every hurtful moment, every time Mira healed what Lena destroyed. And then, for the first time in his life, the memory tree spoke. Its voice was deep, old, echoing through the valley like a drumbeat of truth. "Only one of these twins ever cared for me. Only one ever showed love. A pure heart is not determined by the face one wears, but by the actions one leaves behind." Gasps rippled through the crowd. The mayor stumbled backward. The workers dropped their tools. Mira covered her mouth, stunned. Lena's knees gave way and she sank into grass, tears spilling down her cheeks. Years of arrogance crumbled in an instant. The mayor, voice trembling, declared the valley protected land. The memory tree would never be harmed. People applauded, emotional, moved beyond words. Mira stepped forward and placed her hand on the glowing trunk. The tree hummed softly, as if thanking her for years of love. Lena slowly approached too, head bowed, unable to meet her sister's eyes. "Mira," she whispered, voice cracking, "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for everything I did. I didn't know a tree could remember." Mira looked at her, soft-eyed as always. "Trees remember," she said gently. "People do too." Lena cried harder, realizing the truth, not about the tree, about herself. She had spent years believing her white face made her special, but kindness had been the true beauty all along, the beauty she never chose, the beauty Mira lived every day. From that day on, the memory tree became a symbol of truth in Ridgewood. People visited it to reflect. Children learned from it. Adults respected it. And the twins? Their paths began to change. Lena tried, slowly, awkwardly, imperfectly, to become better. Mira forgave her, because forgiveness was her quiet strength. Every season, the tree watched them grow a little more, learn a little more, heal a little more. It held their memories, not just the painful ones, but the hopeful ones too. And whenever Mira placed her hand on its bark, it glowed faintly, as though acknowledging the kindness that once saved it. The tree remembered everything, and the world around it finally understood why it mattered.